Okay, Assalamualaikum and hello again everyone. Welcome back to Technology and Media Design course. Today we'll be talking about text, okay, multimedia building blocks, and one of them is text, okay. So what about text? We're going to discuss about basic typography, typeface categories, working with text, guidelines for use of text in multimedia. Okay, let's have a look. So what exactly is text, right? And we use a lot of text for multimedia application, right? It functions as navigation, where it can function as navigation like buttons, example, right? Instead of the shape, you can just use text to represent a button where, people can click on the text and go to another page, for example, right? There's a lot of advantages in using text. Inexpensive, of course. If you want to design something using text, you might not have to hire a designer, for example. Because designer can do manipulation more on images, for example, right? And you can also present your abstract idea effectively with text. However, I do not really fully agree with this, because to me it's important as well for you to have visual, where the text can complement the visual in giving better explanation. Okay, that's why it says that it can clarify, other media, and provide confidentiality. Or of course, when you have certain agreement, you use a lot of text indeed, and you can change the text easily. If you, for example, have some information you posted on your website, and if there's a small spelling error, you can simply just go there and make amendment without people noticing it, for example. There's a lot of disadvantages as well. Well, it is less memorable, as compared to visual. Visual, once you look at it, you might remember it again. But with text, it's pretty hard to have the same impact with how visual is. And normally user require more attention, okay, to really take time and read the text, in understanding the message they're trying to absorb, okay, and can be cumbersome. Okay, so let's have a look deeper into text or basic typography. Some people call them typeface, font, typography. There's so many terms, but there's nothing wrong of you using all these terms. I mean, people still get you even if you say typeface, font, or typography, but it's important to establish the differences, okay? So what exactly is typeface? It's a family of graphic characters, okay? Right? Arial, for example, it belongs to certain family, okay? Times New Roman, it belongs to another family, right? It's belong to different family of graphic characters, okay? So Korea, they have their own set of design, you see. Okay, a font is a collection of character of a single size. It's a style, right? Style. Well, if I say, for example, Arial just now, once you make it bold, you give an effect of underline, strike, italic, it is now being recognized as font, okay? So there's a different there. You give different sizes, so it's font. That's why sometimes you hear people ask you, right, what's the size of the font? You can simply answer, oh, it's 24 point, italic, Arial, narrow. So, okay, people get you. It's more specific as compared to typeface just now, okay? This is simply, what font do you use? Arial, without any details or style explaining further, Once there's style and detailing, then it is recognized as font. Okay, typeface categories. well, we have the popular one, serif and sans serif and decorative. Okay, it's important to understand all this because it function differently for certain design purposes. Okay, let's say serif. A serif is a line or curve extending, okay, from the end of a stroke of a character. As you can see here, there's a line extending, okay, from the original stroke. Okay, so you can see fonts like Times New Roman, Bookman, so forth, you know, are actually categorized as serif. Okay, as compared to sans serif, in French, sans means without, so there's no serif. Okay, like Helvetica, Arial, Thomas, Century Gothic, all these are sans serif typeface. Okay, serif versus sans serif, more example here. As you can see, no extension coming out as compared to serif Diane. So we are clear about this. And you should also know, which typeface category suitable for online. Normally, I've explained before this, it needs to be sans serif, okay, easier for viewer to read the fonts on screen without any extension, okay. And then which type category is suitable for print documents. Normally people will use serif font, okay. So on screen sans serif, printing serif. Okay, try to remember that. But with decorative, for example, people don't use them in a complete paragraph, in long paragraph. Decorative is more suitable to become as a title, of the long paragraph. This is something like decorative here. Okay, it's pretty hard to read. So you can have further discussion later with your friends on the category of typeface. Yeah. Okay, so typography, when you talk about typography, it involves the whole design of a layout. So typography is the balance and interplay of letter forms on the page. So when the text already merge with all the other design on a layout, so we categorize them as typography. There's a sense of design happening on the text itself, okay? So working with text, you have to know that it can be too slow at getting the message across. Okay, that's why I said just now it's better off for you to support the text with the use of visual. Okay, and when you use text, you need to be concise, use appropriate typeface or font, make it readable. Okay, consider style and colors, use restraint, and be consistent. So let's have a look further. Concise, read a huge paragraph of text on screen is difficult and tiring. So how is it appropriate? Normally we would suggest you to use text that is more than 24 point, for a presentation. So it'll be easier to read, right? If it's smaller than that, it's going to be hard. So do take that into consideration, okay? And you need to also use appropriate typeface. Typeface sometimes if you are producing a design, for example, for the youngsters, so what sort of typeface that would be suitable for them? Maybe typeface that has the characteristic of fun, catchy. So those kind of typeface you need to consider. Okay, same goes, let's say if you design something for the Western, like cowboy, there are certain typeface that really complement that design, yeah? So you need to see the appropriateness of the typeface, as well as you need to take your target audience age into consideration. For example, here, design for kids, kindergarten, primary schools. You can see how they use such interesting typeface there. Okay, it looks fun. And you need to make it readable. So readability is important. It needs to, when you apply the text in your design, it should be easily readable, so people can read it in any form. Okay, you see, let's say even to the smallest size, people can still read it clearly. Okay, that's why I said just now decorative is not suitable. Decorative is less readable. Okay. Color contrast, I've talked about this before. Bad choices if you choose the wrong color for your text. It can cause people to distract. Okay, can be distraction. We can get distracted. Okay, confused. Like for example, all the effect there. Okay, so you need to know the right color scheme, mix and match the right color between your text, your foreground and background layout. Okay, and also you need to know how to add more contrast to your text as a whole design. For example, here you can't really read due to the color coordination, is not really contrast enough. So what you can do, for example, you can use white color and you can add a panel there to make the wording more clear, all right, for you to read. Okay, use restraint and be consistent. Well, restraint. I would advise you, when you produce a design using text, be very careful. Make sure that it's not difficult to read, and try to avoid from cramping your design with too many fonts, okay? Or use more than 3 types of fonts, right? So this is not wise. Also, when we ask you to be consistent, let's say you have 5 pages of website design, make sure it is consistent, not to use different text on every pages, therefore it shows inconsistency. So make sure if you use just 2 types of font, the whole 5 pages will apply the same fonts. Yeah. Okay, readable, quick and easy, emphasize simplicity, appropriate font size, use simple everyday words whenever possible. Take note on the upper and lower case, when to use, when not to use, all right? Spacing, all this, to provide better view, you have to carefully placing the text over graphic, consider on the type, the style, the boldness, and so forth. Okay, so I hope you take note on this guideline and apply it in your design later. Thank you.